Uh, how you doing today?
You know
Uh,
something? I'm good.
you doing good?
I am. I'm good. I'm tired. I ain't gonna lie. Um, but overall,
Uh-huh.
it's like it's growing time. Like that's all I feel. It's time to
Okay.
grow. It's
I
time to
like
grow.
it.
And so that means I've been doing things right.
It's time. Just growing time for you. It's money making time for me. I'm out here making these. I'm selling everything, but what don't need to be
Ass
sold.
and titties. You selling everything but ass and titties.
Now I might rent those out. I might not sell them, but I'll rent them out. Hey, cupcakes.
Be kind,
Um,
friend.
Yeah,
Then
I will
return.
definitely rent them out because it's all about, making sure that I am able to survive at the end of the day, right? And
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna say this since we here, and this ain't got nothing to do with our show today, but you can't make me feel embarrassed about renting it out either. Hmm? I'm dead ass. I'm not embarrassed one bit. And I
Hey, Purple
and
Purple.
And for those of y'all that don't know, yes, I have sold some and rented some out in the past. Huh?
I think my problem was is I didn't. I was really just giving a whole lot away for free. It was my heart,
And
my spirit. I was trying to connect with
there it
people. But
is.
if I would have put a price on it, if I would
See?
have,
Ain't nothing worse than when you broke and you think back like I could have made a cool little something.
I mean, I was already hoeing. Why not reap the benefits? I don't,
Get you some money.
now we're not gonna
Get
turn
you
back
some
the hands
money.
of time now. But back then I should have made a different choice.
Listen. Well, you know what? Don't let me stop. I don't want to put too much in my bed. Don't let things get too tight now. Shoot, I'll take these draws. Start walking around with no drawers on. Don't play. That's the preliminary. That's the prerequisite to selling ass. All right, let's change the topic because I was, I'm gonna go ahead on and put that on ice because I believe in doing that. I do, and you can't make me feel bad. They be like, "What you sold did you did and did." And got some repeat customers that want to repeat. But
No, see, it's
anyway,
the it's
uh huh.
the it's the I'm gonna put it out there like it is for sale individuals, but then get mad when somebody want to buy it or they throwing cash at you.
Period.
It's those for me. It's like you advertise. You can't get
Hmm.
upset. You
Like my
advertise.
like my mom and grandma used to tell my sisters, if you ain't selling potatoes, take the sign out of the window.
Come on now.
That was country as hell. That when I think
Very.
about it, I'm like, Mama, y'all definitely showing that y'all from Georgia. But if you ain't selling potatoes, then take the sign out of the window. All right. Well, tonight we do have an amazing show planned for you. We're just gonna talk about some television shows that really, really um
Hey.
that really help shape the goodness of our culture. We could absolutely go for the low-hanging fruit. We could, and we may in the future. But today we're gonna reach high on the tree. We're reaching for the highness on tonight.
It's
Don't you
Libra
want
season. We got good vibes.
to? Don't start that because there is no season that compares to the cap of the corn. Hallelujah.
I being a Pisces, housing all. I have value in
Hey
all,
boo, Margaret. Hi, Margaret.
but
Mm-hmm.
I like my Libras. I like my Libras.
Mm. I like Libras too, but I love Hallelujah, the cap of the corn. Hallelujah. All right. Well, tonight, of course, we have a great show again for you, and we're getting ready to discuss the things of the things. But before we get there, we want to talk about our class and our ass. of the week? Absolutely Capricorn all day, every day.
Pisces, are great.
All right, class versus ass. Class is someone who is allowing their black to shine through, right? Ass of the week is someone who is not.
They setting us back, Walter. They just
They setting us
dragging us
back.
back.
They doing dumb-ish. Inappropriate-ish, if you will. Okay. So first we have our class of the week. Some of you may have some special needs children. Okay. And representation matters. Okay. And for those of you that have children, you've got to do what you can. If the media won't include your children, you got to do what you can to make sure that your child feels included. And so this mother has a child who is hard of hearing. And so what she does is oh, that is such a good picture. She alters his toys so that he doesn't feel so awkward when he is existing with his device there. And you see he's proud with his toy, right? He's like, mommy, Woody's like me, right? And I think this is amazing. You sent this to me, Manon. What is your thoughts when you saw this?
I did. Uh, um, so now I'm gonna be Reverend Pisces this whole show. So my Pisces ass got really emotional because, like you said, as a parent, just
Hmm.
making sure that your child feels included. And
Yeah,
those of us who work with kids, or those of us who are parents, we understand the importance of play reflecting real life, right? And so when you have this kid that is trying to find himself in the world, and his
hmm,
world is play, is toys,
right,
and
right,
there isn't a toy that he can identify with,
right.
it makes him feel like an other. And so
Hmm.
his mom just having the love, the insight, the skills, because it's
Hmm.
if you want to make one of these toys, this is not easy. The skills to be able to make him
The
feel included and
ingenuity,
see
yeah.
himself in his world, like that was just, it's beautiful. And I feel
Hmm.
like one of the things that I try to encourage parents to do is create that world around your kid where they
Yeah,
can just be their full selves. And this mom is doing it, and this kid is
absolutely.
going to be stronger because of it.
Can you just show up that clip real quick? I thought that was amazing, Kwame. Absolutely dope. Absolutely. Shout out to that mom, her ingenuity, her creativity. And if you notice, there's also a Spider-Man down there. So I like it that she's taking the main character and doing it with, because it's easy to throw a little side character that ain't gonna do much or nothing. Oh,
Yeah,
he's just like you. No, we want the main character sometime to resemble who we
absolutely,
are. So definitely shout
absolutely,
out to this
front and
mom.
center.
Well, Manon, for every positive, there's a negative.
That's how there's balance in the world, I think.
For every class, there must be ass.
This exhale you got. This breathiness.
Sometimes I wish that they didn't exist the way they do, but they do. So this recently, I don't know if this happened this week, but recently the game was talking, the rapper the game. He's our ass of the I'm sorry, he is the ass of the week, but he's fine. Um
I'm mad, but I can't be too mad.
Not too mad, right? You might have to put up with a little bit of that, right? um, he was recently talking, and he had this to say about women. He says that men deserve to be spoiled too. Zell him $6,500 if you love him. Now, at face value, some of you are like, that ain't that bad. That is not that bad. My issue with this, my issue with this is that last little 6,500 jab that he threw in there. Now I get it if we're gonna spoil each other, we're going to love on each other. But uh, child, listen, I already tried to find his Zelle. I had to let him know. But
I'm
but
gonna tell him no. That's what I'm gonna tell him.
but
No,
but
no.
Manon, what are you so? And I get it that we're trying to move for gender equality and this, that, and the third. Um, I don't necessarily like this narrative and what it implies or what it could possibly get started here. What are your thoughts as a woman when you see this?
Ooh, as a woman, I see a man.
Yes, male strip.
Um, well, let me say I see a boy in a man's body
Okay.
because it lets me know that he still doesn't understand the dynamic of a relationship,
Okay.
whatever it is. um, because you see women now being more demanding of what their worth is, men think that it is appropriate. Let me say boys that are in men's bodies thinks it's appropriate to stand up on the same platform and say, "Me too." No. Um, this is a woman's opportunity to say, you know what, if you treat me better, if you respect me more, if you honor me,
Yes,
then
God.
I will automatically give those things to you. That's the beauty of that
Right.
relationship and dynamic. If you're giving in a way that is healthy, whole, legitimately supportive, you're going to get it back in return.
Hmm.
And then just because of his platform, who he is, the fact that you will have women and some men just throwing money at his Zelle. I think that's a dangerous movement for him to start,
Hmm.
and it's not fair.
So for me, I don't feel like we should have to put dollar amounts on. I definitely agree with what you're saying. If someone loves you, they will do out of the kindness of their heart. They will do, just because, and a dollar amount doesn't necessarily equate to love, because
Yeah.
this could turn into what we were talking about earlier. Maybe he's renting it out. Um, and I for one, I'm again, no judgment here if that's what he wants to do. But I
Exactly.
I think in today's culture, we have to get away from all of this materialism. Like, just
Absolutely.
fall in love with the person. And yes, I do believe in equality. Fall in love if you're heterosexual, because we have to include them. Otherwise, the straight community is going to lose their mind. But if you're heterosexual, love her, you love him, and y'all love on each other. And don't get involved in this homonormative thing, where you guys just fall head over heels with each other, and you both are able to just spoil each other.
Yeah.
um all right.
And
So
I just
mhm,
I just want to say, like, and just to be clear, like, I don't think that he's advertising a loving relationship. Like, let's just
absolutely,
he's not advertising a loving relationship, but
absolutely.
it's still that idea that it's important for, even no matter what type of relationship you have, that you're taking care of each other. Especially, I'm pro me, not anti anybody else, but in the Black
Agreed.
community, it's really important that we get to the point where we are legitimately taking care of each other and not just using each other at whatever level our relationships are, right? Whether it's a
Uh-huh.
friendship, relationship, sexship, whatever it is, take
Hmm.
care of each other. And it's gonna always look different. It's not going to
Agreed.
be, if you give me $100 this week, I'm gonna give you $100 next week, or
Hmm.
if you go pick up the kids and I'm gonna go pick up the kids next week. It's not always gonna be that. Sometimes it's gonna be you are my feet and I'm gonna cook dinner. And
Hmm.
we're just
Hmm.
gonna roll like that. I'm gonna treat us to the movies because I make more money, and you're gonna be the one who is washing the clothes for us this week. And so, like, just taking care of each other in ways that really matter, and
So
that's what dictates worth.
I'm girl, you just hold on. We got the camp out here for a minute. Did you just say you take us to the movies and I do the laundry because you make more money? Did you just say that?
Did
I want y'all to know this is a black woman who knows her worth, who will not settle, saying that she is okay sometimes. I'm sure you're not saying all the time, paying for something
Oh
as
no,
long
not a problem.
as the relationship has reciprocity, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
and it's
right.
like, because me and my girlfriend, we're both building together, and it's
Mm-hmm.
the acknowledgement of reality that we are both trying to get to a place individually and
Mm-hmm.
collectively. And if I'm going to
Yes.
respect her and she's going to respect me, then we got to work together. If you
Mm-hmm.
just spent $200 on us last weekend, you're not about to drop another $200 on us. Now I got paid,
Mm-hmm.
so I got a good 80 I can put out there. And so, but it's about both pouring into the same pot, recognizing
Absolutely.
that you're both going to benefit from it.
So I love it. I love it because right now it's a trend. So there's this conversation about dates, and we'll get to we do have a conversation about the things that we're going to get into tonight. But there's this conversation going on
Partnership, yes.
where they're saying, don't let these N words take you to Cheesecake Factory on your first date. Then another woman is saying, don't let these N words pay for your date with a credit card. He needs to pay with his own cash. You
What?
basically, girl, she in her deep chest voice. You letting the government take me out. You not
What?
taking me, girl.
Okay.
And so I'm 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 concerned about our community, the future of our community, because these young people are getting these crazy ideas and they're running with the stupidity of it all. And my concern is, the black community, where are we going to start coming together at? Because every time we find some semblance of, okay, we can get together, somebody says something stupid like, don't you let them take you to Cheesecake Factory on your first date.
Right. I want my cheesecake. And it's pumpkin pie season. It's pumpkin apple season. These seasonal cheesecakes be the shit.
So,
Um,
mhm.
so here's my thing. What I hear individuals that are not building, but they are demanding. Right? That's what I
Ah,
hear. Because
hmm,
if you are building, then you understand the value of building credit and utilizing credit cards and managing your money accordingly. So if I see somebody paying for dinner with their credit card,
hmm,
one, I'm going to see, okay, they're confident enough to manage their money accordingly. They actually
right,
qualify for a credit card.
right,
And I
that
want to
part.
learn a little bit more about their discipline because they have to have it in order to manage money at that level using a credit card. And so, like,
Hmm.
for me, because I understand a different level of life and
Hmm.
finances, I find using a credit card for dinner to be very sexy and you flossing on a whole nother level.
Okay, absolutely. I like that, by the way. I like all of that. But I think we're buying into this. I'm just gonna call it dumb shit. I think we're buying into the dumb. Everybody's not living this highfalutin, eat at these 5-star restaurant lives.
Absolutely.
Honest. I'm gonna be real. Take me on a nice date to Denny's, and that's me. I said me. This for me. Walter speaking. You can take me on a nice date to Denny's and a movie, and we're cool. Like,
Oh man, when my girl gets us hot food on food stamps, oh, I
what?
love her.
Right.
What? We getting hot food on food stamps in the movie tonight? Oh yes.
I have no
Why? Because
problem.
we're saving cash and we're building a bigger goal. Like, to me, that's so responsible.
Period. Absolutely, Dr. Holt. Absolutely. He says, Dr. Holt says, my first date was the movies and a burger joint. Hell, they were in college and 40 plus years later still. Oh, my parents. Lord, I totally left that. His parents' first date was the movies and a burger joint. And hell, they were in college and 40 plus years later still married and happy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm here for all of that.
There we go. Money in the bank. That's right. Building together.
Absolutely. I'm here for all of that. Yeah, so definitely.
But you know what,
um
Walter?
mhm.
I and I know you trying to move on. I hear you trying to get to the benediction. Um, but I feel like a lot of the problem is that we don't have enough mature couples that
Mm,
are speaking out and telling us really how it goes down. We've seen so many breakdown relationships. We've seen so
yeah.
many faulty relationships.
Mhm.
We've been involved in so many faulty relationships.
Mhm.
And a lot of these people that are
Mhm.
running their mouths is in their teens and 20s, right? And
Period.
you don't know shit. And so it's more beneficial to hear from couples that have been together for so
Yeah.
long, they're in their 40s and 50s, or those that, that maybe they're on their second marriage because they didn't do the first one right because they were
Right.
tripping off this little shit, right?
Right.
But now the second time they get an opportunity to do better. And I know one of the shows when I was really when I was leaving my marriage and I was really trying to figure out a healthy way to approach relationship and partnership, and eventually marriage one day. Black Love was one of the shows that I really dove into heavily,
Okay.
and being able to see the phases of relationships from
Mhm.
other people. And it was very, very informative.
Right, right. I've never watched one episode of that show. Kwame Speaks official says, one of my best dates was with a guy who made our lunch. We had a wonderful lunch picnic at a beach. It was really a really nice time. Absolutely. Now see, these young people couldn't fathom. See, I would see that and be like, this person really paid attention to me
Yeah.
to know, I would look at the small things like, wow, he knew I like pickles and mustard on my sandwich, or something of that nature. He knew the type of chips that I like. Those type of things that would blow my mind more than taking me to some expensive restaurant that we can't barely afford, or you can afford
Uh
this
huh.
week but you're going to be asking me to borrow some money next
Yes.
week. Let's not
Yeah.
do that. Let's not do
Or just
that.
even like you understand to live within your means. That shows responsibility, or
Right,
I'm gonna make us some lunch because I done already purchased some food for my home, so I'm gonna share this with you so we can
right,
still go out and have some
right.
quality time. But I got
That's
bigger
what it's
goals that I'm
about.
working for. I'm trying to get this down payment for this house, so I'm not
That's
about to take you to dinner and spend money when I got bigger goals I'm working towards. I'm trying to clear my student debts and be consistent with that because I got bigger goals. I got to invest in myself. So I'm gonna go
period.
make this lunch. Like
Hmm.
be. But again, that comes with maturity. That comes with life experience.
Yeah.
And that also comes with falling on your face and having to pick yourself up. These teens and 20s don't understand that.
Talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it. So I also agree with Dr. Holt. It's no examples of good black love anymore. Being that I am, being that I'm a gay man, did I come out again?
You did. You came out
Okay.
again, but you got the
Uh,
vest. You got a new wardrobe today, so it is a brand new
okay.
opportunity.
Right.
Mhm.
Sometimes I want to see a healthy relationship, whatever that means, whatever it entails. And I realize it's different for each couple. And it's really difficult to see a good example of two loving black men. Call me whatever. You can call me weird. You can call me whatever. But I like black, thank you, cupcakes. I like I like black men. And it's difficult to find a healthy relationship that's public between two black men where both partners are black. You know, unfortunately, a lot of this I'm going to refer to it as ratchet culture, and I hate to use that term, but that's the only one I can think of right now. This
That'll fly.
ratchet culture is really, really damaging our compatibility, because like you said, I'm at the stage of life that I'm at right now. I want to build. I don't want to build, and then I got to worry about you. Ew, you can't take me out this weekend. Ew, you
You
don't
can't buy me a
know.
Birkin.
Right. And I also, yeah, I just want to see something healthy. And so I do look at the Bishop Olivers of the world. I do look at the Yvette Flanders of the world, where both partners are black, and they've been together for some years. Right. They'd be like, yeah, I'll be like, child, um, and that have their goals together. They have their shit together in terms of, this is what we're working on. One thing you said, I'm trying to get this down payment to this house. I need someone who understands. Until that becomes a reality, it's grind time.
Yeah.
Right? It's grind time. And then once we get that, notice how terminology, once we get that, then it's time to expand to the next level of vision, right? Which may include kids. I already have a child, but I may have a mate, who doesn't have a child yet, and they want a kid, right? But anyway, I just want to see. Absolutely, the Gay Dads of New York. I love
Yeah, I
that
was getting ready
couple.
to say that. I love them.
I love that couple, and I think the younger of the two, the younger gentleman of the two, he gives me the perfect mixture of and sophistication.
Yeah.
It's a perfect mixture.
That's the best way to
Right.
put that.
Yes.
That's hilarious. No,
Yes.
but I feel like
Mhm.
we need to set that criteria for what is healthy, because and not trying to go backwards, but
I love it.
Will and Jada, that whole conversation, they were the picture of black love to all of us,
Right.
until what, 4 or 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
But I think again, it is the reality that you have to build your own bliss. You have to
Period.
build your own bliss. And so as a community, yes, we do have to acknowledge what is healthy, right?
Right.
What
Right.
is healthy is best, but what that health is going to look like and turn into is going to be very individual to your relationship.
Absolutely. I like what you're saying, because it's different for each. It's different for each couple. We're going to continue this a little bit because this is getting good. Don't worry, we're going to throw some TV shows in there for those of you that tuned in for that. But we do have to take a commercial break and pay some of these bills. Go ahead and take us away, Kwame.
Welcome to Bullet in Flight Radio. As we celebrate our second year in radio, we invite you to take flight in this world filled with diversity, where radical faith and progressive believers come together. There's a place that's breaking all boundaries and embracing believers of all walks of life. Join us 24/7 for science, mental wellness, and all the greatest music on earth. Simply by saying, Alexa, play Bullet in Flight Radio on TuneIn, and you will take flight. And if you wish to become a pilot, we are a 501c3, so your giving gives right back to you. Our Cash App is $ Bullet in Flight Radio, or PayPal us at paypal.me/bulletinflightpros. Help us make 2024 even bigger for you. And remember, this is your story. our station. For more information, please visit www.bulletinflightradio.com. Your story, our station.
Step away from the chaos and noise of your daily life. Experience moments for yourself that are calm, serene, and full of peace. A necessary respite to foster growth within you, because self-care should be luxurious. Luxe Noir.
All right, all right, all right, all right. I'm absolutely in love with that Lux and Noir commercial, and I'm gonna keep saying it every week because I love that commercial.
You know what I love? I love the fact that we are considered pilots.
Yes.
Never saw myself being in that seat, but
Mm-hmm.
because of Bullet in Flight Radio, we are.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Yes.
mm-hmm.
I'm flying this bit. I'm just playing.
That's right. You better flex, Walt.
Absolutely. So make sure you all get over there to some of those some of our partners, and you've got to support. Now, we were talking about some healthy relationships here, and we began to kind of shout out some of our gay couples that are doing well. And they mentioned Terrell and Jarius out of Atlanta. I absolutely love Terrell and Jarius. But while we were talking about this, you begin to talk about how some relationships, a healthy relationship, I'm going to say a good relationship is different for each person, right?
Right.
And I think one TV show that kind of helped us understand this was Martin.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay. Martin Lawrence from the 90s. Um uh things so television that helped shape our culture. Martin had his girlfriend Gina, right? Um and for the most part, okay, I would say they had a pretty healthy relationship. She obviously made more money than he did, right?
Right. Which did
And
come up quite a few
right
times.
at times it would be an issue, but for the most part, he was chill with that. But I also want to point out that Martin wasn't a bum.
Yeah, he was a hustler.
Right, he wasn't a bum. He had his. It wasn't as luxurious as hers, but he had his own stuff. Right. What are your thoughts along that line, Manal?
Well, I think so when we talk about pushing the culture,
Mm-hmm.
and us being able to see the reality of black relationships in the 90s, like this is what that show reflected.
Mm-hmm.
I love the dynamic where you had Martin and Gina who were in this monogamous relationship and you saw them building together, working out their problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
Legitimately working them out. Were they always the most mature around working them out? No, but did they
No.
figure it out? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And so so I feel like their relationship showed how a relationship can progress if
Right.
there's a healthy foundation. And
Right.
even, the few times when they had to break up and get back together again, and how to bring in-laws. Like I feel like
Mm-hmm.
their relationship was really pivotal in showing us how to embrace relationships and the
Mm-hmm.
work that goes into them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you got, Pam was dating, Tommy was dating, and
Right.
and they was facing a whole lot of foolishness out in the real world trying to date. But then the fact that they found each other
Yeah.
was so dope. Now, I'll be real with you. My like when I was watching this growing up, I always thought I was Pam.
Really?
I always thought that I was
Me
Pam
too. I
and I
thought
was
I
gonna
was
get my
Pam.
Tommy. You too, right? Chocolate,
No.
chocolate thick, beautiful voice. Yeah,
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 no.
yeah.
I
But I
had a
always
crush
thought
on Carl though.
Carl, really?
Carl is
Okay.
fine.
I mean, he's cute, but he was on the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Um, so and I love my special people.
Mhm.
But Pam, like I thought I was Pam and I was gonna get a Tommy, right?
Mhm.
But really I was more like Gina, and I was
Mhm.
giving room to people to grow, and I
Mhm.
was seeing the potential in people. And I think now I'm more Pam.
Okay.
I had to grow into Pam, and I think looking at that show like that, like Pam is the mature version of Gina. When Gina
Okay.
figured out what her worth was and was able to finally set that demand and say, "This is how you approach me. This is what I need. Come to my level." Um, and Martin jumped for it.
Mhm.
And Cole, like, he had Big Shirley. And that's
Mm,
again going back to, we don't know what is best for everybody. We
period.
don't know. But
Mhm.
Carl and Big Shirley's relationship did not look like anybody else's.
Mhm. Did I call that man Carl? I meant Cole. My bad.
Cole, you did say
I
and
got
I'm
you
editing.
calling him. As soon as you said Carl, I said I started that. Yeah.
But Cole, like his relationship didn't look like anybody else's, and we was all trying to scratch our head and figure it out. But it
Mhm.
worked for him. It made him feel secure.
Right, right. So, I like everything you're saying. It's definitely on point. I like the dynamic of just the friendship. A lot of times in our community, especially recently, friendships aren't weathering a lot of storms. And now I do get that you do not want to take a bunch of BS. I get it. You do not want to do that. And I don't want that for you either. But friendships should have some ups and downs, and
Yeah.
every time you guys get into it, it's not a sign for you to write somebody off. And, God is moving them out of your life. That's not necessarily what's happening every time. Sometimes, just pipe down and wait till things get better. And then, we'll all be in a happy place eventually.
Yeah.
Um,
Or every time I'm
absolutely.
at my lowest. Every time I'm at my lowest, you know where to be found. You
Right.
know,
Right.
or I was at my lowest point,
Mm-hmm.
and you were trying to pick me up, but I wasn't ready to stand up, and then you
Mm-hmm.
disappeared. And now that I'm
Right.
standing, you don't pick up the phone. It's like, now wait
Mm-hmm.
a minute. So I definitely agree with you with that. Being able to see their
Mm-hmm.
friendships as they were able to face challenges personally and together, and be able to weather, like you said, those storms. Like we don't really have those friend groups like that anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. Dr. Ho says, I'm in my 40s and I ain't got time. I'm easily annoyed. Yes. So I absolutely get it. I do. I do. And I'm easily annoyed too. I want to be very clear. Sometimes I'm easily annoyed, but I do, like you said earlier, I try to give my friends space for what they're dealing with. I try
Yeah,
to give my friends space to grow, and I think we see that with Martin. You feel
yeah,
me? I definitely think this was a good core. Now, shout out to them as actors, because you mentioned when him and Gina would break up, I would almost be crying real tears. Like, come on, Gina, don't leave him. He loves you, right? You feel me? I would always have that dynamic when they were going back and forth, because I absolutely loved this show. I did. Now another show that I think was good for the culture. Are you ready for this?
I don't know what you got.
I'm gonna go with A Different World.
Yeah,
Where is a different world?
yes.
Ooh, where you come from?
Oh, you speak my
Yes,
heart,
it
Walter.
is now. You say what now?
You speak my heart. Here's our chance to make it. Hey, and if we focus on our goals, you can dish out. You got to do
Right,
it
right.
every time.
Can't
Every
nobody do that
time.
but Aretha. You can I don't even know them damn words, and I'm mad you know all them lyrics. Um, can I say
Oh, we
this?
the theme song family, okay? I come from the theme song family.
Can I say this? This whole cast is beautiful.
Yes.
All shades of black, just beautiful.
Yes.
Absolutely, and I love it. I love it. Now, one thing that stood out to me about this show is the pursuit of success and the success at different levels. Is that Lou Gossett? No, that's not Lou Gossett back there. Um, the gentleman back there with the bald head.
Who played Mr. Gaines?
Yes. Okay. He he worked at the school, right? Y'all, it's been a while. He worked at the
Yes.
school, right?
Yes.
But
He
he wasn't deemed a failure,
yeah.
right? And so I think this was really really good. It showed, you know, we're all trying. We're all trying. You feel me? And just because you're a doctor doesn't make you any better than me, the school janitor or the school cook. Go ahead.
But there was an episode where they dealt with that though, when Whitley, Whitley came from old money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she thought that
Lou Myers,
Mr.
yes.
Gaines did not have higher value because he was just the cook, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was the Lena Horne episode. And come to find
Oh.
out, he did know who Lena Horne was when he was in the military. She sung for their troop, and she remembered him because he cooked the best food. And so in that episode, you had a chance to see how Whitley even shifted her thought process
Mm-hmm.
about now Mr. Gaines, and she
Right.
had to learn to put some respect on his name. And
Right.
so even that reality in the black community,
Mm-hmm.
how we say, well, I ain't gonna be washing dishes for nobody, and I'm not washing no clothes, and I'm not washing cars, and I'm not doing these things that we deem to be slave work or low valued work. We devalue the people that are still doing that work. And
Right.
so in our black community,
Right.
we have to also be aware that there's value in everybody that
Mm-hmm.
is on this planet, no matter what station that they're in.
Right.
You
I
know.
remember I was having a conversation with a doctor. I was working at a hospital and I was working down in the kitchen, deep down in the kitchen. Speaking of a cook, and this black doctor, I was having a conversation with him, and he was like, "So what do you do here?" He thought I was a nurse. I don't know where he got that because that ain't nowhere on my resume. But I told him, I said, these were my words exactly. I said, "Oh, I only work in the kitchen." And he was like, "Ain't no only." He said, "You in here, you're working." And I mean, he began to speak
That's
words
right.
of,
Yeah.
encouragement to me, that I didn't need because you can't job shame me. Trust me, you can't job shame. Long as I got one. But I think we gotta we gotta shift our mindset on this, and that was one thing I liked. Another thing I liked is it showed people with different backgrounds being able to
Yeah.
coexist in one space.
Yeah. When you talk about diaspora, the black people from the
Come on,
diaspora coming
diaspora.
together,
Mm-hmm.
being able to find understanding and find purpose
Mm-hmm.
in being together, this show really depicted that very well.
I
And
so
I
too.
love how each season, they got a new class of people coming in, and
Mm-hmm.
they were able to change the energy of the show to
Mm-hmm.
fit, whatever gear we were in, to really reflect the culture at the time. They did
Mm-hmm.
a really good job of that. Like when Jada Pinkett and their class got on there, and you saw Whitley and Kim and their generation now being judgmental,
Mm-hmm.
and them having to find ways to
A
connect and
medium. Yeah.
understand each other intergenerationally. And they were only 4 years apart. So
Right.
imagine how much more understanding was necessary between Lena James, that was Jada Pinkett's character, and Jaleesa, right, who
Okay.
was already an older student the first season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't watch this show ever, Walter. I don't watch it ever.
Yeah. No, you girl. No, you
But
breaking this down like it's damn near the Bible. But
this is but
I
this
love
is
it
one of
though.
those this is one of those like timeless classics that you can absolutely watch over and over again. Like my
It is.
son when I had my son, I said, there are shows you're going to watch, sir. And I sat him down and I was like, and thank Debbie Allen she's my heart. Been loving her since I was 3. If I could ever do projects, hey. But like my son, I said, you have to watch these shows if you want to really understand yourself, grow and develop as a person. These are the shows in Different World, Cosby's, Fresh Prince, like he had to sit down and watch these shows. And in a minute, he gonna sit down and watch Martin. We ain't there yet. But he's gonna have to watch
Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna have to watch him.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that you said everyone's success looked different.
Right.
And even Ron having to go through that challenge of finding himself in college, and he had to repeat another year. So when all his
Mm-hmm.
friends graduated, he had to still repeat another year
Mm-hmm.
and find himself. And he found himself as a musician. And his
Absolutely.
dad was flipping out.
Mm-hmm.
Remember? And he's like, I paid all this money for you to be a businessman, and you decided to become a musician.
Mm-hmm.
And so even finding your own identity as an adult
And,
was a
and
big part of the show.
I'm glad you brought that up. As a musician, college education. Do I want to go there? I'm going to go there. Education, period, puts you in a position to better manage what you do.
Yeah.
It just does. Is going to, so a musician with a college education, your education may not be in music, but if him having a business degree is going to help him, his product sales are going to be on point. His displays, the behind the scene business is definitely going to put him in a position to be more
Yeah.
successful while he's on stage. Am I saying that people without a degree cannot? That's not what I'm saying. But I'm going to say he's going to have a better wealth of resources to pull from if he paid attention in school and didn't just BS the whole time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Now I want to talk about the love dynamic because I'm all about the love. I am. Where is the love? Did I get off key? Where is the love? All right. Between was that Dwayne and Whitley?
Dwayne and Whitley, classic love story.
Now, it is classic. It is a classic love story. Now you're gonna have to help me remember this. He didn't have money like she had money, did he?
No, he came from low, not low class, but where Whitley's mom was. He was low class. She was high class.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Low class, high class. Where do you think their connection came from? I always told people you don't need a degree, but it sure as hell helps when. Absolutely. Hold on. Can we read this because this is my heart right here. What Kwame put up is my heart. Kwame says, I always told people you don't need a degree, but it sure as hell helps in this systematic world. And I want to echo that because that is
Absolutely.
that is the truth. I don't want them to have to bleep me this whole show, but that is the truth. You don't need a degree. And I tell my nephews and them this all the time. You don't need a degree. You can absolutely hustle. There is money to be made out here. But if you don't have a degree and you don't have that background, you're going to come across someone who's able to do what you do a lot easier because they have had the education in that area.
And easier just because they've had either the training that
Right.
training
Right.
and conditioning that comes from school, but then also too because as a society, the system that is in place says the person with the degree is more qualified, even if they don't know their shit. You can bleep me out, Mommy. Even if they don't know what they're doing, just because they have the discipline and the paper to show for that discipline,
Yeah.
they get the job. It's not fair. It's the system, and so if you decide that you want to play the game, you get the paper.
And I'm gonna go ahead and say, you know how many idiots I worked for, and if you watch this, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about them other bosses. You know how many idiots I have worked for that have the job because they had more education, but when we got in the office, I was doing the leg work and the hand work. And it sucked because even though I had the experience and the know-how, they had the credential, right?
Yeah.
And I had to quit lying to myself, like, oh, I'm sick of it. No, you're not, because you're not willing to go to school and make this happen.
Yeah.
You can't complain about
Woo.
something you're not willing to change, but that's not what this
You
show is
better speak
about.
into my life, Walter.
That is not what this show is about.
You
This
better speak
show
into my life.
is about TV shows that help shape the goodness of our culture. So I loved their relationship, and I love that they ended up together. Now, it doesn't always happen like that in real life.
No, it doesn't. But your question was is where did they connect? I think
Hmm.
they connected in the genuineness of their friendship.
Okay,
In the
absolutely.
genuineness of their friendship, because even though Dwayne had always loved Whitley and was pursuing Whitley, Whitley had to realize the value in a person and the value in the person that she was to be with or who would truly love her. She had to grow and mature in that. And so
Hmm.
I think they it was the friendship.
Right, right. Absolutely, absolutely. Dr. Holt says, "Doctor," so he can say this. He said, "Child, I almost told them people they could keep that doctorate,
Look,
honey, working on that damn dissertation. However,
look,
my paycheck reflects the hard work, and that's it, Dr. Holt."
speak into my life because I promise you,
Ah!
I'm in this stats class and I want to give it back.
I'm with cupcakes. Let me hold 20. I don't want to say hold. Let me have $20. Hold me and I may have to release it. Let me have no. No, but I definitely get it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um different world. I definitely did, and I like that we're kind of getting back to the HBCU experience in this
Yeah.
generation. And again, think times and things change. Times and things change, but I think there should always be a core of something that's passed on to the next generation. And I think these beautiful actors and actresses did an amazing job of passing
Yeah.
down to us the desire to want better for ourselves. The next
Yeah.
show that we have is Fresh Prince of Bel Air. The Fresh Prince. Mm. Ah, with the correct I like. I don't even mean to play into the whole colorist thing, but I liked
Yeah.
her Aunt Viv better than the second Aunt Viv.
I did. I did. I feel like they gave dark skinned Viv, they gave her some power and some
Hmm.
fight that was needed. And I think light skinned Viv was just real sweet, timid, and little more docile.
Right, because
Mm,
I couldn't see her giving the type of attitude that dark
mm-mm.
skin Aunt Viv. Uh, Kwame says, "I only acknowledge this Aunt Viv." Period. Absolutely. Original Aunt Viv was the ish. Absolutely. You remember that episode when she danced?
It's the classic.
Oh my God. She danced. She did it. She did it. She did it. She did it.
Yeah.
So I liked this show for many reasons. So in my own personal family, we raised or children from different parents were raised under one roof for whatever reason, right? Sometimes the parent was ill, sometimes the parent fell on hard times, and we all came together to be raised under one roof. And it kind of this was a depiction of what it means, in my opinion, for family to be there for someone
Yeah.
when they can't necessarily be there for themselves. Because according to the show, it was all about a fight, that took place in Philly. But I'm willing to say something deeper was going on, because why didn't you move out here with your son?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
And
that.
it's
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, no, no. I love that you asked that question. That cause that's real.
Hmm. So
Never asked that.
obviously, you knew that there was something that this nucleus can give to your son that you were not able to. And it's not always a man. Get that in your mind. It's not always a man. The man is not always the answer. But there was something here that they could give to you, the child, that you couldn't. And so I like that for whatever reason. A, they never embarrassed her for not being able to take care, or I don't want to say take care, but not being able to be there for their son. And even in this this reboot, this current reboot that they're doing, have you watched it at all?
I did. I watched like the whole first season. I'm still trying to get past, them recreating our shows.
Oh, wait. I'm just catching these comments. Hold on. Is that what you were laughing at? Okay. All right.
What?
So these comments, hold on. Light skinned Aunt Viv could never dance to make you sweat. OG Aunt Viv cupcake. Light skinned Aunt Viv Kwame. Okay. Kwame says, girl, bye. All right. Enough of that. Back to the show. Sorry, I lost it for a second. That took me out. Okay. Okay, I'm back. So I like that they're being there and they're not shaming their family for what they're going through, right? And I think this helps shape that. And I love the growth that we see in Ashley on the show.
Yeah.
She goes from this tiny child to this grown ass woman ready to make some boss moves.
Yeah. It's crazy because again, this is just me. Like I'm watching Fresh Prince all over again. Fresh Prince and Family Matters at the same time. Just wanting to understand a little bit more now that I'm at this stage of life. And what I loved about Fresh Prince was you see how, again, you have Black people from different backgrounds, even though they are family members, they are from different backgrounds. And so the understanding of who they are or the value of their different worlds isn't there right away. They have to grow into it. So again, it's another show that gives us that window into what work it takes to come together, the value in the work, and then what the result can be when you've worked to build bridges to each other. And I feel like these shows are so monumental in our community because we don't understand that work anymore. We don't understand that work within ourselves individually. We don't understand that work within a family. And so the breakdown comes from people not valuing the differences in one another in order to come together and work as a unit. And so I think these shows, I'm again such a Pisces, so I love everything old in my world. But I think if we go back and we replay these things,
Right.
we can watch them and get the lessons that we kind of missed in our youth watching them. And it was all about finding the love and the shared work together.
Absolutely. So those of you that are watching, we want you to go watch these shows and come back here next week while we continue this conversation. We do want to thank you all for tuning in this week. Follow us on all social media platforms. Our handles are our names. And we will see you next week. Go ahead and take us away, Kwame.